everyone, Jasmine here from First Diversity, and I'm here to talk to you all about how to create the perfect resume. The first thing, be honest. Don't even think about it. There's no reason to. Do not lie on your resume. It will catch up to you, and it won't be good. What employers really care about are the experiences that are on the resume. So if you don't have this certification, if you did not work at this place for this amount of time, there's no use in lying about it. They want to know about what you learned. If you learned a whole bunch in a couple months, there's no need to say that you worked at a company for a couple years. Remember that it's always about quality over your quantity. Now, later we'll talk about, to fill out the resume, but if you have a few key job experiences or work experiences that are a better quality, then just put those. No need to add it when it's false. You do want to brag on yourself. So while being honest, this is the time to expand and just talk about yourself in the most highest way possible. It is completely okay to be extra on your resume. Pull up thesaurus.com and add all of those synonyms that make you sound a lot better. I do it all the time. Expand on your details. So were you just a cashier at a department store, or did you manage financial transactions? Did you assist guests on the sales floor? Did you work with a team? Did you keep your floor and your department clean while keeping a productive workflow? Expand on your details, be extra, and brag on yourself. This is also the time to get creative. So if while you're being honest, you don't have as much details and information on your resume from your job experiences, add in volunteer experiences, add in classroom projects, add in anything that is relative to your job that can help you get that. If you feel like you're good enough to be at this job, share why and share where you learned that from. You don't have to be an employee that has gotten a paycheck from somewhere for it to be considered work experiences. I think we've all experienced where we apply to a job and they want 10 years of experiences, but I've only been in this field for a couple months. The reason why is because they want you to get creative and pull all the details that you can to sell them on why you deserve this job. You want your resume to stay updated. One, it's a lot easier on you and your memory. It's similar to the phenomenon of where we're somewhere and we need to take notes, but we tell ourselves that we're going to remember it. Well, as soon as I sign on to a job, as soon as I get out that meeting with HR, I go ahead, pull up my resume document, and I add on the details that I need. I might not be able to fill in my experiences and my responsibilities yet, but I put in the title, I put in all of the information as far as the actual name of the company, and I put in the date of when I started. You wouldn't believe how easily our minds forget what month and year we started at a job. So keep it up to date, make it a habit so that you do it every time you start a new one. Lastly, you want to store it where you can easily find it. So when it comes to building your actual resume, we're going to talk about that in a minute, you want to make sure that you put it somewhere where you can access it when you need it. I suggest Google Docs. If you go to docs.google.com, you can create a free kind of Word document. The good thing about it is that it's made on the cloud, so it's always saved, it's always up to date. If your computer dies, if it crashes, if for whatever reason you forget, because it's made through the internet, it always keeps you back up to date to where you were. Also, you can access it anywhere. So the thing like when you have a flash drive, or if you have a hard drive on your computer, you don't have access to that anymore, or it's been a long time, you don't remember your passwords, you never have to worry about not being able to get your actual resume again. You can either email it to yourself or just create a Gmail account and have a Google Docs set up so that way it's there whenever you need it. 4, it is so important to adjust it every single time. This is a key that so many people miss. A lot of people don't learn this. This is important because no two jobs are the same. No two companies are the same. So why would you send the same resume somewhere else? You want to add what they are looking for. So if on your application where it says the job description and you're like, okay, this is why I want to work here, if they're saying that they want someone who is a great communicator, who is diligent, and who is proficient in Microsoft Excel, literally take the words communicator, diligent, and Microsoft Excel and put it into your resume. Literally copy and paste those words. Couple reasons why. One, it is good practice because you want to have a different resume every single time. If you're sending off the same resume to different employers, it's kind of going to look like spam. Secondly, our day and age, resumes are usually submitted online through services like Indeed or Monster. I know at First University we have an option where you can upload yours online. And what employers will do is they take keywords and they highlight those and they set filters on those websites. So those websites are great for employers because they can look and say, I only want this type of candidate. They're going to put communicators. It's only going to pull the resumes that have communicator on them. So when you take those vocabulary words that are on the job descriptions and stuff them into your resume, you're making your chances of actually getting your resume pulled so much higher. It's not about anything that you could have done personally. It's not about you as a person. This is all technology based. This is just how the system works now. Nowadays, employers are not going to go through hundreds of thousands, even maybe, paper resumes to find their next candidates. It's all done online. So take that tip and use it to your advantage. Also, you want to stick to the standard one page. No more, no less. We talked previously about social media where I shared that sometimes I recruit online via social media. You can submit applications and resumes through Facebook, and I'll see some resumes where there's absolutely nothing. I've seen some where there are no work experiences, they don't have any like school updates, and I know that it's not that they just don't have any, they just weren't, they didn't put enough effort to actually fill it out. What I saw was laziness. And what I did was kept it pushing. I didn't even attempt to reach out to them. So you want to make sure that you have something on your resume so that it is extensive and full. I would tell you a lot of times I will actually pick up a resume because it is full. It takes you above the standard. Also, you don't want a resume that's too long. No employer is going to read a resume that is longer than one page at all. So you kind of want to stick to that full page to half a page margin and fill it up with information of volunteer experiences, of work experiences, of talents and skills that you have. You want to keep it detailed, but not so full because employers will get to know you more in the actual interview process. Okay, next I'm going to share an extremely important top secret key with you. You want to adjust your resume every single time. There are so many people who miss out on this trick, and I'm going to give you all the reasons and details why and let you know why it'll help you. 1. Know that no two jobs are the same. Even if you're applying to the same position at a different company or you're applying to 2 different positions at the same company, none of those jobs are the same. None of those jobs are going to require the same exact abilities or have the same exact responsibilities. So you want to adjust your resume every single time for that basic fact alone. If you send out the same resume to all these different employers and all these different job positions, it's going to look a little spammy. It's going to look generic, and HR reps and recruiters and employers are not going to be likely to pick yours up. You want to make sure that you add exactly what they are looking for. If they say that they want someone who is a good communicator, who is timely and proficient at Microsoft Excel, literally take those words and put them into your resume. Couple reasons why. 1, it just looks good. 2, you're answering all their needs. If they say they want this person, boom, I got it. 3, because of the way that technology is set up nowadays, it's going to give you a better advantage. Here's why. The days of paper resumes and employers sorting through hundreds and thousands of sheets of paper are long gone. There might be some places that still accept paper resumes, We do. But a lot of times they're going to encourage online resumes. We also do that. The reason why is because employers go through services like Indeed or Monster, and those services benefit the employers by basically finding the perfect candidate for them. So if on their job description they say they want a good communicator, they can go inside of LinkedIn or Indeed or Monster and literally search good communicator out of their pool of applicants, and it's only going to filter those that have that literal word in it. So you want to make sure that your resume has those literal words in it. It's going to pull your resume to the top. It's going to give you a better advantage, and you're going to beat the system. Now, this has nothing to do with you as a person or with your talents and skills. It's just the way that technology is set up nowadays. And I think a lot of people miss out on that because they're just not aware. So you want to make sure that you put exactly what they're looking for inside your resume so that you can pull it up. Also, remember, you want to do one page. No more, no less. I can't tell you how many times I've seen resumes online where there are absolutely nothing. There is no work experiences, there's no school history, there are no details, and it's basically just a name. The first thing I see when I see those, lazy. You didn't care enough to fill out their resume to tell me about what you've done in the past. Why would I think that you're going to care enough to put in effort at this new job? So you want to make sure that you have something on your resume. If you don't have enough experiences and you've stretched it out with as many details and examples as possible, that's okay. You want to aim for that kind of half a page to full page. That way you're sharing enough details where the employer can find something that's interesting about you. And if you go too far, you're not going to bore them. I have seen one resume that was about 2 pages long, and I had to force myself to read it. And by the end, all I could think about was how tired I was of reading this resume. So I did go ahead and pass it on, but I know that there's a lot of employers out there who will not take that chance, and you don't even want to risk it. So now we are going to build the perfect resume. Starting with the name, you want to make sure it's bold, it's there, big and simple. But here you can see this is Martin, production worker. It's going to be easier for the employers or recruiters to pull his resume when they're looking for a certain position to fill. Next, we have the objective section. Nowadays, it's called different things. You'll see personal profile or profile. But this is basically where you have the opportunity to explain who you are and what you're looking for with your resume. So you want to make sure that you're including some of your talents, your goals, and your desires. Here you can see that they share a lot of their passions and what they're hoping to get out of the job. Next is your contact info. So you want to keep this as simple as possible, just your number, your email. When it comes to your address, nowadays, most employers aren't going to be sending you any sort of mail so soon. So just include your city and state. So the important thing to remember here is that you're going to put your highest level of education and then any relevant education. So here we have their college degree, and then underneath there are some certifications that are relevant to the field that they're looking for. That matters more than the date. You're going to want to list out all of the things that you are good at, all of your talents, and you want to bullet them. It's a lot better to list them out in individual sentences that are bulleted versus long paragraphs, because a lot of the times employers aren't going to want to take the time to read a bunch of words on a paper. So look at what they're looking for and make sure you include that in your skills. Next, your work experience. Now, this is so important. You're going to follow the same rule and include only the things that are either recent or relevant. So here we have First Diversity Staffing and Parkwood Supplies Factory, right? The cool thing about when you work through our agency, you can just list the whole job as that description. You don't have to list every individual place. That's going to help it look like you have more longevity at your jobs. A lot of times in your resume, it looks a lot better when you have one job for a longer period of time, and it makes employers think that you're going to stick through and fight through. So that's what you want. Next, we have the made-up company Parkwood Supplies Factory. You can see here the dates are different, but in each of them are listed the things that you accomplished there in past tense. That's important. Next, the one thing that a lot of people don't realize that they can do is include things that weren't actual paid jobs. So if you were a volunteer and you did a task that was related to the job that you're applying to now, that's awesome. Go ahead and include it. Just because you don't have the paid experience doesn't mean it's not experience. You want to make sure that your resume is filled out one page and you're going to be good to go. Good luck.